Good afternoon, Facebook and YouTube community audiences. My name is Jennifer Maureen, and I'm here with Bryson, Tony, and Gary Parker. Bryson
Hey,
is here from PenMet Park, and Gary, you guys know Gary. So, how's it going, gentlemen?
it's going great today. How's it going with you?
Good to hear. Happy Tuesday of
Happy
this
Tuesday.
beautiful fall in Pacific
Only
Northwest.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So we are talking to this team of community leaders here today. I know a lot of people may wonder how Gary chooses the organizations that he partners with in the local Gig Harbor and surrounding communities. And Gary actually wants to answer that question. So to start our conversation, I'm just going to ask Gary, why PenMet Parks and why do we have Bryson here today?
Yeah, so there's a bit of history behind this. When we started our philanthropy over helping the community, right, to give back programs, that all started way back in COVID. But beyond COVID, so I think everybody's heard the COVID story before. But after COVID kind of started to relax a little bit, we started the community where it was ramping back up. Um, we were trying to do more give backs and stuff like that, right? We were trying to do it encapsulated within ourselves, right? And because I'm just that way, I'm a stubborn guy, right? So I kept trying to do things on my own, But at the same time, we were partnered with PenMet in a project called a steering committee for their senior activities, and eventually a senior center here locally, right? And so we continued to work on that. And as things started to come online, like our bingo programs and the movie, which is this month's movie, we we found out that there was just too much for us to handle. And so because we had already had our affiliation with PenMet and working with seniors and senior activities anyway, we had a big powwow one day, and I said, why don't we just align? Because there are things that PenMet has that allows us to do much bigger things, right? Because they have infrastructure, and it's easy for us to coordinate with them and design programs, right, that augment some of the more local stuff and organic stuff we do with the community, right? And it's largely aligned around both youth and seniors, right? And one day we'll probably kick off our third leg of this thing, which is veteran support. But we really haven't had any talks around that yet. So really, what it is, we think PenMet's a great organization, and they do a lot for the community. We try to do a lot for the community. So to us, it was a natural fit, right, to get in there. And we'll talk some about the programs. And I'm teasing you guys with the movie because the reason I do that is because one of the things that we do in conjunction with PenMet is the free movie for seniors, every month, right? And it's on their seniors activity calendar. They help us by getting the word out about it, right? And of course, they can pick up tickets here at Barbecue View for that. So that was really kind of where it started, and then we went into the bingo, and then we went into some things that I think Bryce and Company do at Arletta Schoolhouse, right? I know they have game days over there, and they have different lectures, and some of the authors here go over and give talks, right, to the seniors there. And so as time has kind of gone by over the last year, we just more and more we meld, right? And to the point now where, and Bryce will tell you about this year's lunch program, where we kind of connected, and there was this need, and I said, hey, that really is how we want to use our money, helping moms and stuff, moms and parents that need to make sure their kids are fed, having a good time, right? And so how can we help with lunch, right? And so
the partnership started with you doing the sponsorship of the movies, and PenMet joined you in that. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So we started out doing it, right? And actually, a couple of the commissioners said, "Oh, that's really cool," right? And actually, a couple of commissioners used they have a small budget amongst themselves that they can use for community stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of them helped me, right, early on when we were kicking that program off, right? And which we very much appreciated, and it's just grown from there. There's a nice synergy that goes on between Barbecue and PenMet Parks.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm interested to hear more. So, Bryson, can you introduce yourself and tell us what it is you do for PenMet?
I organizations are oversee all things fun at PenMet Parks. So we have two sides to our organization. We have the park side and the recreation side. I help oversee recreation. So I get to may help people make memories, help put programs that make a difference in our community. I've been with the district about 4 years, and it's been a really rewarding time.
Nice. So you're the fun side of PenMet Parks. That sounds like a good job.
Yeah, it
Sounds
is.
like, yeah. So how is it you first met Gary Parker?
So I met Gary. Gary was our premier sponsor for the mobile recreation program this summer. And so that program this summer was like my baby. And so we had a lot of really big dreams for it. And we're putting the pieces together to really get this thing off the floor. Are you familiar with the mobile recreation program at all?
I'm not. Tell us what that is.
So our mobile recreation program, it is a free summer program for those who have financial and geographic barriers. So those that may not be able to participate in some of our summer programs or can't drive. Gig Harbor's fairly spread out, can't drive to other parts of Gig Harbor to participate. And so this program was essentially bringing the fun to you. And so this year was our pilot year. We picked 5 weeks out of the summer, and on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we provided free fun for a couple hours right in the middle of the day. And Gary was really instrumental with helping provide free summer lunches this summer. So one thing that was the real focus of this program was really providing for the community, especially for those that have barriers to participate in other programs. And so one thing that we looked at was how can we incorporate summer lunch? There's a lot of summer lunch locations throughout Gig Harbor, and we wanted to add to that because there's only so many people that they can reach. And we were like, how are we going to make this happen? And luckily, Gary swooped in. And so we were really fortunate. We were like, I don't know if we're going to be able to make sure these lunches happen this summer. And it's not in the budget. How are we going to make this work? And the only way to do that is bring in partners just like Gary. And so, yeah, that's just a little bit about how I got to meet Gary.
Yeah. So what other programs besides the movies and the mobile recreation program have you two worked together on? What is that? What else can you share?
So we just had our Scarecrow Festival this past weekend. So that is it's our annual festival. I think we're on 11 or 12 of this festival. So it's been around for a number of years. Gary helped sponsor our stage. And so so all of our special events are a huge thank you letter to our community. And those are purely subsidized by the district. And so they are, they're widely popular and they provide benefit to everyone. And so partners like Gary really help us enhance those and really provide just more community benefits. So Gary has been able to help us out with our stage, which is a huge draw for the event, and we have some local bands, and so it was a really great time.
Yeah. So we had a Scarecrow out there. It won second place in most creative, right? And that's the seniors. The seniors that play bingo for us. They all got together and they put that little granny Scarecrow together. I should have sent you a picture, Jennifer. That'd been fun. To show. But we do that, and we do a lot of small things too. There's a program to where businesses can hang their banner on the outfield fences of baseball parks, right? And Barbecue View is out there. I'm not sure if we've got OCS up yet, which is our nonprofit, right? But it should get up there at some point, right? But and so all these things help, okay? Because the more you help him that provide these activities, the better off it is for the kids, right? And the parents that are trying to find things for those kids to do to keep them safe and so forth in this crazy economy, right?
So it looks like there's a huge summary on your site of all these different things that go on. It looks like it's a place you can go. It's penmetparks.org. to see what events are coming up. Can one of you tell me what is in the future of this partnership? Are there things that are planned?
We don't think we have any limits, right? Tracy, our partner, Tracy Surratt, should have been here today, but she got called away. She comes to me all the time. We design these things. Like, I didn't know about the lunch program initially when we were, all I really did was I went to Tracy and I said, hey, here's a bunch of money. I'm not going to give it to you to put logos on the back of T-shirts. That helps somebody, right? I mean, I'll put my signs up on the fences and stuff like that. But I said we really want on big programs, we really want to do something that's more meaningful, right? And I understand in the community, right? And I understand how this community is actually put together enough to know that there's a lot of single parents, there's a lot of kids. We don't, and that our theme in our give back programs and stuff is to combat warehousing, right? Warehousing is where kids and seniors get put into a house with a credit card and say, here, play video games all day, order food when you want it, but stay indoors because I got to go to work, right? These are very real problems out in this community. And the more we can give kids things to do, the more we can give seniors things to do, the more interaction there is, the more they stay out of trouble, right? And the better off it is, and the parents, have a peace of mind that they had fun and they had nutrition, right? So even though they have to go to work, and so there's a lot of these dynamics that sit in the underlying pieces of this, right? So supporting PenMet and their programs in general, and then designing programs to help guys like me that want to give more but have more impact at the same time is all really great, really important in the essence of it.
Yeah, there's probably an opportunity to create programs that are great for sponsorship from people like Gary, and to use some of these things as opportunities for other business owners that want to be involved, because it's hard to know in the community, where's the handle where I can get involved, what can I latch onto, what can I sponsor? And I think it's exciting to think of activating these instead of just looking to large corporations, but what are the small businesses in the community that can become involved and bring all of their fans along with them, right? So I know there was a lot of people that live and work in your area out at was it Seahelm? How do you pronounce that park? Sorry, yeah, and they were excited that Barbecue to You was there, so close by for them to come and have food, right? And so it's a fun thing for the restaurant too to be out in the community, maybe serving people that wouldn't drive into Gig Harbor for the food. So yeah, I saw just as the Scarecrow Festival is such a good example of partnership and mutually benefiting PenMet Parks and Barbecue to You for sure. So what else is there a large event in the future that you guys are working on together? Is the Veterans event not PenMet Parks, Gary?
No, that's over with Kiwanis, and yeah, my focus right now is I've shifted over into getting ready for Veterans Day. We're feeding 400 vets here at Gig Harbor, right on the 11th. So trying to we're taking a little bit of a respite, as you know, because we come off that real busy time, and so October, I was just closed last week to do all the deep cleaning and stuff I have to do before we go into winter. And then, it's a little bit of a respite for the guys, and then we'll ramp right into November with the veterans in the front end of the month, and then all the Thanksgiving activities in the rear, right?
All the turkey.
So some of the things that might still come around, because, like I said, when I started, we do a lot of stuff encapsulated into Barbecue U and OCS, right? So we have our Santa Claus programs that are running. We've got our senior programs running to make sure that the seniors in the living facilities aren't left out in the cold and have nobody to visit with them. So we've got things going there. We got Wreaths Across America coming up. And so this time of year, I kind of turn into these other things. And some, we haven't talked yet, but there's a good possibility that if PenMet had a program, right, that they wanted to do, right, we could figure out a way to get that on the books and get that going as well, right? We just haven't. We got to do this stuff in real time, right? At this point in our relationship, so when ideas come up, then I get presented and we see what we can do. Right?
One thing that we're absolutely floored about with Gary is that Gary's got his his finger on the pulse of what's the need of the community, and as an organization that helps us, we serve the community, and so understanding or so the sky's the limit with our partnership with Gary is like we go to Gary and we're like, hey Gary, we've got this real deep need. Is there any way that we can partner together to meet this goal for the community?
Yeah.
And so that's one great thing about Gary is Gary thinks outside the box, and that is focused on like what's really going to make the impact rather than, like he said, putting a logo on a jersey.
Yeah, I think Gary probably thinks of you in your organization the same way. I mean, as having a pulse on the community of a different kind of set of needs, right? And so it's a good partnership to be working together for sure. So, Bryson, is there anything that you want to take a couple minutes to share with us about that's coming up for just PenMet Parks in general? Just anything that you want the community to know, or is there a program that you don't think single moms know about, or you don't think kids know about that you'd like to just throw a promo out there for?
Ooh, I would like to say definitely our Cookies with Mrs. Claus, Mr. and Mrs. Claus. That's coming up. Basketball registration opens tomorrow, and we are getting super hyped for it. So a lot of fun things coming on the horizon for PenMet Parks. If I was to put a plug on something, definitely check out our teen programs. Those are one that is definitely a deep need in the community as well. Is we offer a variety of stuff for teens for us starts at age 12 and goes all the way up to 18. And so any teen programs, we've got some fun things on the horizon. We have our teen dance coming up, and a lot of other great things. So
very good. Well, thank you. We love having you here, and we'll definitely have you back. I think there's a lot more that you guys can talk about and keep each other up to date about. So, Gary, do you have any closing comments or things you want to say about your partnership with PenMet Parks?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I keep challenging PenMet on is I know that there must be other business owners like myself that will do this, right? And for a long time, COVID shut a lot of this stuff down. And so one of the things I tell Tracy a lot of and Bryce is that, you now have a club that you can go out and talk to other people with, right? And say, hey, if Gary can do it out of this little bitty store, right? It's not a corporate thing. It's just this little bitty mom and pop over here that make it such a big event. Why can't you do it too? Right? So we want them to not only do all this stuff with us, but to also use us as their example, right? To go to other businesses and get more of this stuff, right? Because there's no way that I'm ever going to meet all of them, right?
Yeah, but he knows. So much, he has a vast network in the area.
The more Garys that we can freaking get on board, right? The more this municipality can do, right? And we won't get tied down in these silly budget discussions, and we won't get into this kind of stuff. It can grow into a thing that is just really organic, but you got to get it started. Somebody's got to get it started. We say in fundraising, you got to have the guy to write the first big check. Okay, well, I'm writing the first big check. All right, now let's grow on that. Let's get the number 2 guy and the number 3 guy, and let's get the 10 guys, right? And let's go make this happen, so that we have this mega program that can grow.
Yep, I love that. And you can use Gary to open doors. So I would invite you to do that, Bryson. He's not shy. He's very busy, and you have to, don't give up trying to get a hold of him. You can always call the store and ask the boys to walk into his office and hand the phone to him, or tell him to answer the phone. So anyway, he's a busy man, but it's because he's busy doing good and running a restaurant. So, but again, great to have you, Bryson, and we'll have you back again. And with that, I'm going to let you drop off, and then Gary and I are going to continue a conversation about the restaurant. So, but thank you for joining us, Bryson.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, Gary. Thanks so much.
All right. See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
All right.
Wow, it is particularly loud in that restaurant today. You guys have a crowd. Brisket on sale.
Seniors are about to start playing bingo.
Oh, it's bingo night. Okay.
Yeah. So this is why the 2:30 is always difficult because they're all out there chatting.
Wow, I can't believe that this is the noise level with your door closed.
That's with the door closed. Yeah.
We need to look at a soundproof room for you, apparently. So, so what else is going on?
That may be coming next month.
Say that again.
That may be coming next month because I'm trying to work on a remote office because doing things here in the restaurant has sometimes gotten to be difficult because there's so many people that are enjoying themselves and having fun and that kind of thing. So there's actually an offsite office coming soon.
Well, and we send an awful lot of people to go shake your hand too. We really do. People want to talk to you about the food. They want to, meet with you and talk to you about your recipe and how you do what you do. So I'm sure that can be crazy too at times. So is there a school or what's going on with the school philanthropy and some of the,
Give me a second. I'll look up who's out there right now. We just had, last week, we just had the Big Harbor Band Boosters in there. Let's see. Then we have Ann Putman doing the
Ann Putman, author.
As the author this week. At least she's out there right now. I'm trying to see a picture. Which was it? But it's not handy at the moment, so I don't want to waste everybody's time. But we have one of the school booster groups out there on the counter today, and then and so we're just kind of settling into the fall season, Yeah. By the way, it was a record this year for the counter takeovers for the youth groups. I think we finally turned the corner, right? And because we are almost completely booked for every week, all the way into when school's out in June, right? And all the BPOs, which is the volunteer credit organization leaders, know of us now, and they call early, and they get on our calendars, and we're solid to go. So we're almost already, and it's just October.
Wow, that's early in the school year to be completely booked for schools you're going to help for sure. So what about catering? Is that fully booked? What's that look like going into the holidays and all of that?
Well, like I say, we're in the natural slowdown period right now because people come out of a busy summer. They're saving up for holidays, right? So we're not doing a lot. Businesses don't do a lot typically around this. We do a few. Don't get me wrong. There's never a point where we're doing none, right? I think the elections and stuff like that have got everybody a little distracted right now as well. So we'll have I expect we're going to have a nice, calm October. And then we're going to go straight into Veterans Day, which will be big, like I was telling you earlier. And then we go straight into turkey sales for Thanksgiving, followed by the ramp up into Christmas. And there's always a lot of parties and things like that come our way. And so we start to see some of them. We're also seeing 2025 weddings start to come in now. So we're talking to some of those, doing tastings and that kind of thing. So catering continues to be nice and steady. I'm thankful of these little slowdowns like this because I get to take a break. The world doesn't realize I do most of those myself, right? With one of my helpers.
Well, for the first time ever, listening to you talk about how things are going at the restaurant, you almost sound a little bit grateful that it's a little bit slowed down. I know Mother's Day kicks it off and goes into summer, and then fall tends to wane. And not that I know you want business, but at the same time, I'm sure you're kind of welcoming the slowed pace. I kind of hear that in your voice a little bit.
Yeah, at 62 and a half years old, it's it takes it wear and tears on me a lot more than it did when I was 30.
Yeah, so we hear that. But that also makes you probably better at cooking your barbecue. So we're glad for your years of experience. So. All right. Well, thanks, Gary. And I'm definitely voting for a soundproof booth for an office where we can do this because I feel like I'm asking you to yell so you can yell over that crowd. But the crowd is also good news for you. So anyway, we'll talk to you again next month. I really want to have a conversation about all these questions I'm getting about pork bellies.
Okay.
What exactly they are and how they're cooked and served and all of that. It seems to pop up a lot online. And then also always burnt ends. But we'll talk a little bit more about your barbecue food going into the holiday. Maybe we can do a conversation about turkey. I know people are getting ready for the holidays, and turkey's a popular item for you. And how do you serve it, and when should I order, and all that. We'll talk about that next time. So anyway, always good to see you, and we'll see you again next month.
See you, everybody.
Bye.